Our next speaker is a veteran of the United States Air Force. John Heitzman is a medical support assistant with the Department of Veterans Affairs. He previously served as a staff sergeant for 4 years with the 502nd Air Control Wing Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, working with airborne warning and control system aircraft, more commonly known as AWACS. Yep. He also spent 2 years as an information manager at the Air Force Institute of Technology. Here from Louisville, Kentucky is Mr. John Heitzman.
Thank you very much. Mine and Brent's approach is a little different. He's a lot more professional than me. He actually had all his stuff printed out, and I didn't get close to that. But you know, as just like Brent, you know, I owe the VA that I'm here today, and I'll tell my story quickly. It's at the age of 10 years old, was my mother's second divorce that I went through with her. It was the first time I had a drink at the age of 10. I actually stole a car the same year. And from the age of 10 to 12, I kept up those good actions, and I kept drinking. I stole my mom's car on a regular basis until she just couldn't handle me anymore, and she sent me off to a children's home for 2 years, where I learned a lot of things there. I learned responsibility and consequences of my own actions, which I definitely needed. But at the age of 14, I got out of there. I graduated from there. I went back to a normal high school where I just pretty much went back to my old ways of drinking and partying. I had a best friend that I grew up with, and his name was Todd, and we were inseparable. Me and him were together every day of our lives. Fast forward a little bit, I got pretty much tired of doing the same thing, the endless jobs that really didn't matter, you know, and somehow, I don't even know how I did it, decided to go into the United States Air Force, which is probably the smartest thing that I did in my life. I excelled there. I was great at it. I had a focus. I had a purpose. I was very good at my job. The third year in, I was E4, but a couple towers fell, and things changed a little bit, and all of our important people got sent off to different places. If anybody doesn't know what the AWACS is, it's the airplane with the dome on top, looks like an Oreo, and it monitors the skies. So it was a very important airplane after the towers fell. And all these guys took off, and they left some of us lower-ranking people there, but you know, from what I had done so far in the Air Force, I was put in charge of the expediter on a flight line, which was in charge of all the maintenance on all the aircraft that were there. And then probably 3 months later was put in as the production super. So I was in charge of the whole flight line with 3 stripes on my shoulders. But like I said, I was good at it. I was very good at it. In my 4th year, I developed seizures. We don't know why, still don't know why. But I also found out that year that my mother was dying of terminal cancer. And they moved me from Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma, to Dayton, Ohio. And at the same time, that's when I started drinking again. When I found out she was going to be gone, she was the only thing that I had that was consistent in my life was her. And that same year of December of 2005, the best friend that I grew up with, Todd, died of an overdose of narcotics and alcohol. The following January, I was medically discharged from the Air Force, so what I knew, my purpose in life was pretty much gone. You know, I was married, I had 2 kids there that was with me, and I was immediately put out. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't find a job for the life of me. I thought I'd get out and work at the post office because that's what everybody did, right, when they got out of the military, was work at the post office. But I couldn't get that. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't keep a house. I lost the house we were moving into. March of that year, my mother died, and, you know, which was a huge loss to me. The drinking and drugs, they hadn't stopped at this point. My wife was really great to me at this point in time. She said I was pathetic and useless, and I made sure that she was right about that because I kept drinking, kept using drugs. And she had to move in with her parents. I moved in with my sister. It didn't take long for my sister to realize that she couldn't stand an alcoholic drug addict at her house, which I can't say I blame her either. So she kicked me out. I was on the streets for quite some time. I mean, at least I had a car. I was sleeping in my car, so I guess I had that. But I didn't know what to do. I took the last $10 I had, and I went to my friend Todd's parents' house, and they took me in, and they helped me out. They gave me what I needed, but the drinking and drugs still didn't stop. I had no purpose. I had no belonging. I did not feel like I felt when I was in the Air Force, that I mattered. At this point, I just didn't feel like I mattered at all. You know, I did get a job from there, and I got an apartment, and I met this wonderful woman, and we dated for a while, and one of the friends that I reconnected with after getting back from the Air Force that I went to high school with, he hung himself. And I thought he was the most squared away person I'd ever met before. He owned his own business, he had a house, his kids, you know, and I couldn't wrap my head around why he would have done that. I still don't have the answer to that one, but about 2 years later, I'm still going through the same thing, still using drugs, still using the alcohol. I've moved in with this wonderful woman that I've met, and you know, it just got so bad, I just felt no purpose, none at all. And I drove around in my truck for a while with the hose in the back of it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I'd never done it before, you know. I thought about it a lot, but it was more of a coping skill than it was an actual thought. But, you know, so much alcohol and so many drugs, you end up doing things you weren't thinking you would do. And nobody was supposed to be home that night. Somehow, the woman I lived with came back and pulled me out of the car unconscious. I don't know how she did. She's about 4'10". I don't know how she got me out of the car, but she did. And she called our local police, who came and got me. And luckily enough, they took me to the VA, where I went straight to the psych ward. And I met Barb Kaminer, who Brent's talking about here. And she wasn't buying what I was selling. I'm like, Tom, I couldn't get out of that place quick enough. I was ready to AMA right out of there. And she came in there and she sat down, and she's I don't know how to put it lightly. She says the way she thinks it is. And I felt more like I was in the room with the officer in charge than I was a therapist. And she said there's going to be a flag put on my name. And much like Daniel, I didn't want that stigma of I'm insane, you know? And I didn't want my dermatologist seeing my flag and asking me how I was doing. I didn't want anybody seeing that. So she gave me the option to come to these suicide prevention groups. And I think I managed to sneak away from it for a while, but she caught up with me one day when I actually was at the hospital. She came and found me and asked me why I wasn't going. And so I went to the next one, and I didn't talk during it. The next time rolled around, and I started talking. And as soon as I talked about it, it was this relief, this burden off my shoulders. I don't know how to explain it. It was just that stigma was gone from me for some reason. I'd always worried about what my family would think. Good Lord, I would never talk to them about that. My dad would probably start a fire squirming around if I talked about suicide to him. But that stigma was completely off of me. And I thought, you know, at first I thought I'll just do these 4 groups and I'll get this flag off my name and then I'll move on with my life. And about a month later, I got sober because of this, because the psych ward's a little real. It's quite humbling. So I got sober for a little while. And one day I got drunk again, and I woke up much like Brent in a jail cell, and I didn't have a clue why I was there. I had blood all over the front of me, and all I thought was, please God, not that I didn't kill somebody. You know, it turned out to be minor. I went back. I went to Dr. Johnson and Barb Kaminer and said, I need help. And they immediately had me in rehab in like 3 days. I was there, and I kept going to their suicide prevention groups, which I love very much. I still love them to this day. I got good at talking to the people in there. I went from rehab to the compensated work therapy program, which got me back in the world of getting up and going to work. And after it was over, Lori gave me a call and said that they had some research stuff that they would like me to be involved in, and I started working with Brent. We did outreach. We went to people's houses, did crisis plans. We went to every event you possibly could think of to give out suicide prevention items. Soon after that, another project came up. It was with the Military Suicide Research Consortium, and which was very interesting to me because I had to go on the unit, and I could actually get back off the unit now. The first time I went in, I made sure I could get back out. But, you know, it was interesting because we're asking a lot of hard questions to people, and it's a very trying time. Your first day on the psych unit, and then somebody wants to ask you 150 questions about where you fit in society. And I had a chance to tell these people a little bit about my story, get them comfortable with me, and get good answers from them. One lady there said, "You must think I'm crazy." I said, "No. If they were doing this when I was here, my scores would have been a lot higher." You're fine. But, you know, and then the grants time came up. I got a job with the VA as a medical support assistant, so I'm starting back down on the bottom level again. You know, but that's okay. I'll be up top again. I will. I promise to you. I owe everything to the VA. I'm glad I'm here. Dr. Lori Johnson, put your hand up so everybody knows who you are. So Barb Kaminer, the lady who told me to go to these groups, actually, a funny story, she married me, and the woman that somehow stayed with me for all these years through the alcohol and everything, I don't know what she was seeing in me, but she saw it, and she stuck with me. Me and her got married. Barbara actually married us. A lot of the suicide prevention people were there at my wedding. I owe everything to the VA. I do. I truly do. I'm glad I'm here. And I feel your all's pain, I feel your all's aggravation, and I hope we're able to do something about it. I know from where I'm at, I may be the lowest person in the level at the VA, but I always make sure all the new people feel comfortable. I talk them through everything that I possibly can, and that's what we need to start doing in the VA. I love it. I love my veterans. I'm here for my brothers and sisters. Thank you all very much.